Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_Access. Joined alongside Jacob in Wisconsin. We got Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio fresh out the shower in Tennessee, here to talk some Packers this evening. We got an awesome show for y'all. We're going to talk about all the roster moves as they begin to mold and shape, and it'll probably change a little bit. The practice squad, we'll talk about all that. We'll give you injury updates from practice. Got some really, really important news to cover there. We'll give you the latest on the Micah Parsons rumors, and then, of course, we'll finish up, if we have time, with a little bit of Detroit Lions preview as we're closing in on the very first game of the season. Before we get into that, if you guys will, let's do that YouTube stuff. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media members. What we are fans just like you, talking Packers on the daily, doing pregame shows, postgame shows, film breakdown, the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for daily Packers content, you found the right place. Just make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified every time we go live. I see everybody in the chat filing in. We're going to have a crowd in here this evening. Hopefully everybody had an awesome day. Gentlemen, how we doing? How's everybody's day go here? Emilio looks a little pissed off tonight, which is kind of rare. Emilio, something wrong?
B got me today, Clay.
Oh, yes. Is it swelling up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thumb's swelling up a little bit. And I'm pretty sure it's Bumblebee, too. I was just pulling a vine off a hydrangea and wasn't happy with me.
So it wasn't the southern ground dwellers.
No.
Boy, do y'all got those up there up north? Y'all got the yellow jackets in the ground?
Yeah.
And they are mean down here, boy. The most I took 13 in one swoop one day. Boy, I was running across the yard like a madman. They probably thought I was liquored up. Anyway, go ahead, Jake. What were you going to say, man?
No, I'm pretty sure, Chad, you can confirm this. Bumblebees don't sting. I think Emilio's just making it
up.
I
didn't even realize it
was
They do
there. If you stick your hand right in where they're pollinating.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in the flower that I yanked on, and he was not happy about it.
Jacob said he's yanked on a few flowers, but we'll keep that for another show.
Just the tip, though.
Jeez, man, Tim had that one locked and loaded. I regretted what I said the second it came out of my mouth. Tim just jumped right in. Good to go. So it's gonna be one of those nights. I see Emilio got the Oktoberfest back. I gotta go pick mine up, man. Mine up. Nice. I'm getting the weight down to about 177. And then, boys, I'm telling you, I'm going.
It's Balkan season.
I'm going to order 2 pizzas. We're going to get Oktoberfest, and we're just going to lay around all weekend and watch college football. That's what's going to happen. So.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
Yeah, so we'll put that back on real quick. Do you guys got anything y'all want to cover? I kind of gave you a rundown what we're going to hit tonight. Was there anything that I didn't tell you guys in the pre-show that maybe y'all want to hit on? So we get to it right now. Anything at all?
Nothing on the top of my mind.
Okay, good deal, man. Well, let's jump right into it, man. Listen, there's a couple things that happened today that I'm not very – I don't want to say I'm unhappy about, but it kind of we seen some of this coming. Like this one here, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. We talked about how the Packers would have roster moves where they would have people on the 53, and then within 24 to 48 hours, they will cut them loose and then try to sneak them onto the practice squad, right? And this one right here, Micah Robinson, the Packers have released him. According to Bill Huber earlier today, the Packers have released Micah Robinson. He'll have to go through waivers. If he does, he could become the 16th or 17th on the practice squad. Now, listen, they signed Nick Niemann. I think I'm saying that right. Or would you say Neiman there, Jacob? What do you think there? N-I-E.
I think I'd say Neiman, but who knows?
Okay.
Hello, Neiman.
There you go. So we'll hit on him a little bit. I want to get your all take on the Micah Robinson release there. How do we feel about that? Do you think he'll clear waivers? Think we'll get him back on the practice squad? How do y'all feel about
that? I hope so. I mean, they did enough research on him. They want to. I would think that they would want to bring him back, and he made the 53. So you would think that they would want to bring that and put him right back on there to kind of churn him.
Yeah, I think it's just like positioning, right? It's probably why they put him on the 53.
Yeah.
Then a release, then a sign. Hopefully we'll get that soon.
like Emilio mentioned in the pre-show, it's like, so that voids the 4-year, right? The 4-year contract of being a draft pick. It does. However, if he makes it back on the practice squad, let's say he finishes the year on the practice squad, you sign him to a futures deal that'll reset where you've essentially got his rights for 3 more years. So you really don't lose a year there. And you don't have to worry about, I don't think there's any guaranteed money sacrificed in regards to a 7th round pick, if I remember correctly. So I think he's a player they do want back on the practice squad. This is just one of those moves that they were afraid someone would swoop him up. And now you let everybody else fill their roster. You got a better chance of just sneaking him onto the practice squad as they've already filled their 53. So let's talk about the linebacker they signed here. This one was kind of intriguing, man. I've never heard of this guy. And I want to get your all's take on it. I know, Jacob, this is kind of your specialty, man. You love these type of signings right here, kind of under the radar, if you will. So the Packers released Micah Robinson and signed linebacker to their 53-man roster per Matt Schneid. The Packers signed Neiman, to their 53, all right? And as Mike Garafolo points out, this was the interesting part for me. He says the Texans are releasing linebacker Nick Neiman, a special teams contributor who signed a 2-year, $6 million deal with the team in March. Neiman's contract included $3 million guaranteed this season and $1 million in full guarantees next year as well. So it's kind of odd. Why would you give him that money and then cut him loose? Of course, that's why the Houston Texans are the Houston Texans, I guess, right? Making decisions like that. But nonetheless, we got a little bit of PFF information here. Probably hard for you guys to see. I'll see if I can read it here. So essentially, throughout his career, starting in 2021, he had a 54, 67, 71, and 71. So the last couple of years now, in 2023, he had 247 snaps. In 2024, he only had 44 snaps, so probably a little banged up in that regard. He's 6'3", 244. He's an Iowa Hawkeye, and he was drafted in the 6th round initially. So what's your all's take on this, man? As Drew D says, why are we signing Neiman when Welch played so well? What more does Welch have to do to make the roster? This goes hand in hand with the Micah Robinson talk, Drew. Welch is back on the practice squad, so you got them both. So they kind of gambled a little bit on Welch, and we'll get to the practice squad roster here in a second. But this is one of those deals where you end up getting them both. If that makes sense. So, what's y'all's take on it?
Well, to me, it just seems like kind of a Goody type guy that fits this mold, especially like I believe somebody else just commented that he's a special teams ace. Respect Oranges coming in here. We're saying Neiman has a 9.51 RAS, ran a 4.51 40. I mean, that to me fits pretty perfect with what we want to do here. We were all a little shocked with having only 4 linebackers on the 53. And then, it felt like we just maybe needed to bolster the special teams a little bit more. And he's a guy that maybe, with some injury could step in and actually produce. And he's got experience. I know I watched in Goody's press conference, he was talking about that he just the reason we let go of Algersma is because it sounded like, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said he just wasn't quite where we want him to be. He didn't have enough experience, whereas Clifford had, a little too much. This guy is kind of that sweet spot where he's been in the league. He's seen what it's like to be on an NFL roster, sees what it's like to be in the offseason, go through it. So I think it just kind of fits the bill. It does suck. I'd love to have Welch on the team, and I thought he did earn it, but I'm excited to see what this kid can do.
Yeah, and we do have the special teams grade. I'm going to go ahead and edit this article right now so everybody's got it in real time. It looks like his special teams grades were really, really solid. And like you guys pointed out, Respect Oranges points out here with the RAS, 9.5, pretty solid right there, Emilio.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at the tackling grade. It looks like he's pretty sure tackling besides this last year where he had, maybe an injury or something. But if he was drafted in the 6th round in 21, I would think Goody probably had a 5th or 6th, round grade on the dude. And was willing and able to, hey, if he ever pops up, put that one over in the corner in the safe bank, and if he ever pops up, let's see if we can't bring him in. And he kept his eye on him for the next couple of years. It's just crazy to think about that. Like, drafts 5 years ago, they're still eyeing a couple players that they had later on in that draft, in the 200th picks that they still think might be somebody that checked, how they're doing in the past couple of years, and bam, dude comes available, you bring him on. But I think you're relying a lot on, Rich Bisaccia there, who's going to need a couple more linebacker bodies in special teams aspect, kickoff coverage, all that stuff. So I think it's probably the right move.
Yeah, Tim, the special teams grades here starting in 2021, and you see significant snaps here, over 300 for 3 years and then 288 last year. But the PFF grades starting this rookie year, 81, 70, 83, 79. We got a special teams ace, looks like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just that 70 grade in 2022 is quote unquote a down year, right? I mean, everything else looks pretty consistent. And it just goes to show that, we can have our opinions and our feelings, and this coaching staff and this front office is going to evaluate things differently. I think a lot of us thought Christian Welch would be that guy, for sure. But clearly this was a move that they felt like needed to be made. And I'm looking forward to seeing him in green and gold, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jacob. If you got any other comments, I'm going to try to grab his RAS and just throw it in this article real quick as well.
Yeah, I saw that Too Old for This came out and said it's been 6 minutes into the episode and we haven't talked about Matt LaFleur's mustache. Emilio brought it up in the chat, the group chat. So let's just highlight that thing is beautiful. Donovan Schilling says Matt LaFleur got that stash from the AFM store. Shake my head. So that's the only.
Sit your butt outside.
Nick McSwain says LaFleur looking like he's not allowed within 500 yards of a school zone.
I think he had a pretty good, clean Burt Reynolds look going. I could imagine if you kept the beard all shaved down and stuff, probably looked pretty decent.
Yeah, I agree. All right,
we gotta get you to do that, Jacob. Just leave the stash.
Years ago, my friend. I was having to push the ladies off too often. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
I couldn't walk down the street.
Yeah.
Jacob,
no,
did you
no
also
Burt Reynolds? You do the Raleigh fingers, right? You twist it up, give him a
little wax in there.
Eric called out your beard, Jacob, and said that he's got a better one than yours.
Eric Sutherland?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot get this updated quick enough to get off of this topic. Okay? It is now updated. Yeah. So the RAS, this looks like an older RAS car we got here, but it looks like a 951 is what it's showing here. So really, really fast, man. 4.540, 20-yard split scored a 9.45. The 10-yard split scored a 9.63. Shuttle as well, an 8.25. And then his 3-cone scored a 9.92. So you're talking about a guy he's got burst, he's got quickness, he's got top end speed. He's also got the ability to change direction for sure. So that is the Green Bay Packer. So, all right, let's move it along here. Some other stuff. Matt Schneidman had tweeted this out earlier today. Packers didn't claim anybody and didn't have anyone they claimed. I seen somebody asking about Amar Johnson. I was curious about that as well. So they do not have Amar Johnson on the practice squad. They did keep Izzy, though. So I was completely wrong with that. I really felt like Amar Johnson played much better than Izzy. But it looks like Abanikanda is going to be the practice squad running back as of the time being. Not to say they won't bring him in later here. As Coach said, I wonder why they did not keep Amar Johnson. I haven't heard. Maybe there's an injury or something. Maybe you guys have heard, but I personally haven't heard anything like that yet.
The only thing I can think of is maybe Izzy has an edge in the return game. We've seen him return a few things, so special teams contribution on top of being an emergency running back.
Yeah, I thought I read something about this. As Bahan says, Amar Johnson went to be with his family. I think there was something about it. I thought it was an injury, but I'll see if I can find it real quick just to give you all.
He says parents were sick, so
that's what it was. Okay,
family right now.
There you go. How about that, man? You get your opportunity to play professional football, and hey, look, man, mom and pops ain't feeling good. I'm gonna go take care of that. You know what I mean? It says a lot about that.
It's like Vince Lombardi said, right? God, family, and then the Green Bay Packers, right?
Right. Or as Jacob says, God, family, beard oil, then the Green Bay Packers. You know what I'm saying? Right, Jacob? You use any beard oil on that? Is that true or no?
I used to have my own company, but yeah, then COVID happened and nobody wanted to buy stuff through the mail to put on their face. Go figure. But yeah, I used to use beard oil all the time. Now I use.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's all.
Tay told him, Jacob didn't.
Should have known.
Should have known. My daddy liked that years ago on the Cadillac.
Well, did you see Willie Lampkin got picked up by the Eagles? Pull that back up, Clay.
Oh, I done closed it out.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Chargers got him, right? So Eagles picked him up, of course. That little 5'10" center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we picked up Kennard, and they pick up him.
Last I heard, he was having a good preseason. I thought, but
I thought he was grading out really well.
Yeah. All right, Matt Schneidman also says, don't expect Kalen King back on the practice squad. He'll probably look elsewhere. So that tells me Matt Schneidman talked to either Kalen King or his representation. Sounds like he might have been a little bit sour on that. Now, he did go to Carolina, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what somebody just said, yeah. So he ends up with the Carolina Panthers. So even though they did sign him, I'm sure he could have chose multiple practice squads. It sounded like, according to Matt Schneidman, he did not want to be with the Packers. So probably a little bit little bit upset he didn't make the roster there. Listen, I get it. I understand. I felt like he did enough to make the roster. You guys know how I felt about Kalen King. That was kind of my surprise was that he did not make it. So what we got here? I'm afraid to read that. I just seen meme. But anything you guys want to add to the Kalen King conversation here? Am I the only one that caught off guard?
A little bit. I was too. We talked about that in the group text earlier too, right? And if that's the case, I think there's some evidence to support the fact that, maybe Kalen, as well as a lot of us, felt like he earned a spot on that 53, and maybe getting the snub was enough to just kind of piss him off. And if he's a little salty right now and doesn't want to be here, then I'm glad he signed in Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just time to move on. Obviously, we feel pretty good about Micah Robinson being a practice squad guy. So, Kalen King not being on the squad is a little shocking, but, I don't know. If they've got other plans and, or they wanted to bring him back and he had an attitude issue, or felt like he was snubbed, hey, then let him move on, right?
Packers on top said the last name King gave the franchise PTSD, obviously from Kevin King. Drew D in the chat says, I don't mind what the Packers did at corner. Yeah, I really don't either, and we haven't gotten the updated depth chart from our lads yet. I checked earlier, and it hadn't been updated since yesterday. But how do y'all feel about that?
I also think they went with the size upside of Kamal Hadden as 6'1" over being at a rough 5'11".
Yeah, I think what Brian Ellis says is pretty key here too. He says King plays slot, Hadden plays more outside. That's the difference.
But King didn't even play that much. He only played like 50 snaps in college. I mean, I think they maybe asked him to do a little bit more in the off, or in this preseason, but that's tough.
Yeah, the other thing we heard too is the speed, that compared to the other corners in the room, he's not quite as fast. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So there you go. Kalen King is out. It was fun while it lasted, right? So let's talk about the practice squad. This is the last I heard. And Easton Butler put this tweet out, which everybody go give him a follow, man. Great follow over on X. Give you no nonsense, good information all dead time at Easton. at Easton _ Butler. So this was as of 2:42 today. If you guys know of anything different, let me know. But full Packers practice squad quarterback Clayton Tune. This one caught me off guard. We were all going, will it be Elgersma? Will it be Sean Clifford? It ain't going to be either. They went out and got Clayton Tune, obviously, who's been around the league for, I believe, a few years now, right? How many years has he been in the league?
Emilio? I believe it's 3.
I thought it was 2.
But third season. This is his 3rd year.
I think so, yeah.
So quarterback Clayton Tune will be your practice squad QB for the time being. We'll see how that goes. Running back Izzy Abanikanda. Then you got wide receiver Mecole Hardman. So we got Hardman back, baby. I love that. Absolutely love it. The fact that you could activate him on game day and get him up as a kick returner. If you do get in trouble at wide receiver, I feel really good about him being the 7th wide receiver on this roster. Emilio, he's a nice one to have just locked and loaded in the chamber there in case you need it, right, man? You want to pop in some speed on Madden, you still got him on the practice squad.
Absolutely. It's real quick to pull him up. You get it 3 times a year. That's a no-brainer at that point. If you can make that happen, I'm glad it worked out the way they planned it.
Yeah, and as Coach Lynn pointed out, Clayton Tune played with Golden at the university.
And he got drafted in 23. Tune did.
I think they said I read a stat that they had 7 touchdowns together. He threw 7 touchdowns to Matthew Golden, so that's really, really interesting for sure. So, very, very interesting signing there. So again, Mecole Hardman, wide receiver. You also got wide receiver Isaiah Nair. Love that. And then look at your boy Tim, wide receiver Will Shepherd on the practice squad.
Colorado Buffaloes, baby. Let's go.
Jacob, what do you think about those 3 wide receivers, man? Is there somebody you would have rather them have, or do you feel good about those 3 on the practice squad?
No, honestly, I didn't think this. We talked yesterday. I thought it was Tim made me pick 2 players that I wish I could sneak on, and I said Nair and Shepherd. I never thought that we'd actually get Mecole Hardman back on a practice squad. So the 3 of them together, I mean,
3 receivers on the practice squad is kind of a surprise, right?
Yeah, but as when we cover down the future in this episode, there may be a reason for that. But it's just nice to know that in case we have to break glass, and in case of emergency, that we've got some guys that I've actually shown quite a lot of flashes, especially one that has a lot of experience, which is something not a lot of teams probably have the luxury of.
No, I completely agree there, man.
I'm sure down the stretch, you're not going to feel bad about having Mecole Hardman, within your locker room, right?
Yeah,
definitely. Moving along, offensive tackle, they went with Brant Banks and Dalton Cooper. Love the fact that Brant Banks made it to the practice squad. Again, I thought he showed a lot of promise in preseason, so that's one we kind of talked about a little bit yesterday. Emilio, how do you feel good? How do you feel about those tackles? Are you good with that? Do you wish they had signed someone else, or is it kind of odd that we only have 2 offensive linemen on the practice squad, seeing that we only carried 9 on the active roster, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. I'll just say, Goody, first thing he said was, it was tough that we lost Glove. He was going to be an important part for the team there. I
don't remember hearing that.
He did. I wrote it down in my notes.
I needed to mention that. So,
it
was a tough that we lost my man. But, I think you're right. You're kind of diving into the tackle a little bit. Just, on rotation, can they flex? Can they play in the guard? And I think that we've got enough. That's why you kind of keep Donovan Jennings in there, more the inside guy. So you want to have a little bit more backup at tackle, just in case of injury or anything like that. But hopefully that means good things for, Aaron Banks, so that his back is in good shape and the inside's kind of in good shape as well.
Got it. All right. Up next, defensive line. Tim, we kept Deslin Alexander, James Esther, and Aaron Mosby. I know we had talked about
Yes. Let's go.
I know you were excited about Deslin Alexander, right? He seemed to have a good camp while you were over there, and what you've seen. You feel pretty good about that?
Actually, I got to give the credit to my wife. Mrs. G was the one who said, what's up with 49 over here? Looks pretty good. And we've been watching him ever since. Jacob was at the game with us, on Saturday. We saw it, up close and personal. I think he definitely deserves a spot on this practice squad for sure.
Gotta love our viewers, man, our listeners. Bringing the important facts here. Brian Ellis in the chat says, I think he meant Neiman, right? Neiman, does he get an N or no? It doesn't, right? Neiman comes from a football family. His dad was Lucas Van Ness's position coach at Iowa. Learned that today and thought it was neat. That's a great factor. So really, really cool. Again, we're building a team, not collecting talent, right? It's important to get these guys in there. They're going to have a little bit invested in each other and want to play for one another and have these personal ties, whether it be half the damn teams from Georgia or, in this case, you get a couple Hawkeyes. Really cool. So Schefter sucks, not an insider, says shocked that Mosby and Alexander didn't get claimed.
It's Schlefter.
Yeah, Schlefter. I believe that's Elijah Gwynn's new.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Elijah got.
That's the one who started all that drama last night.
That was hilarious, man. The chat lit up. Michael Parsons is a Packer. I was like,
I love it.
It's happening.
That's a great point though, on the comment, though, right? Kind of surprised that at least one of those two didn't get claimed. That's awesome. They both cleared.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. And just real quick, back to Dalton Cooper. He was a 206.7 on the board, East-West Shrine game, cheese emoji, and a target emoji.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. I think we're on to something with that draft board, boys.
That is.
We don't have that picture anymore, though.
Which one?
The picture of Cooper.
No, wasn't that Bay? Wasn't he the center from Arkansas State?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah.
How about this guy?
No.
No, he was trying to move that guy.
How about this guy?
Here's a guy.
That's the man right there.
Man, somebody get that guy some clippers, man.
That's going to be the go-to response for me for anything the Packers put up about Matthew Golden.
Is it just me, or does that look like a young version of Craig's dad on Friday? Yeah. Anybody take a stinking? It's going to be me. All right, moving along. Linebacker Jamin Johnson and our boy Christian Welch. Really excited about that, man. I think Christian Welch is going to get called up a couple times this year. So I feel good about those. Was there a linebacker that maybe caught us off guard? Do you think we made a mistake not bringing Isaiah Simmons onto the practice squad? Because me personally, I just never seen it, man. I just didn't. I wanted it. I wanted it to work, man. Anytime you get a chance to get a top 10 pick for a minimum contract, you feel good about it, but it was rough.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like Tim said, we saw him in person on Saturday, and it just kind of seemed underwhelming. And I actually, I've been kind of more impressed with Jamon Johnson than I thought I'd be. He hasn't, been flashy and hasn't really gotten his name called a lot, but he just seems like he's a guy that could maybe come in there and maybe impress people, not maybe right away, but just like Packers on top saying, Jamon Pop Dumas Johnson, my Kentucky legend. So
there you go, man. Love it. All right, DBs, Jalen Simpson and Jonathan Baldwin. Emilio, how do you feel about that, man?
I like Baldwin. I'm glad we brought him back. More of a safety, right? But I do like that move. And Jalen Simpson, hopefully that he can keep showing out. I think it might have been Omar if he was healthy, but hope he gets better. We didn't need to go. I think it's better to have a backup safety or two because we have everything else going on in the corner room with 6 of them in there. I think you're kind of, and we're going to have 3 of our safeties on the field most of the time. So you're going to want to have a little bit of backup there.
I agree.
2-0 for this says the name Jamin makes me think of Rush Hour. Jamin Lee. I'll think about what Rush Hour. Wasn't that the one where they had the little Asian dude that said, "It's fried rice, you blick"?
Yes.
That thing? God, it's such a good movie, man. Such a good movie. So, and shout out to Jerry. Left a YouTube comment after the show yesterday and was like, she agreed with Jacob. Clayton has got to watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Facts.
All right. And then, of course, we got Mark McNamee as the international pathway player. All right. Now, he did denote this is not official, but reported, so we'll keep our eye on this. I think there's a chance that God, who is the DB we just got through talking about? Micah Robinson. If you could have Micah Robinson on this practice squad within 24 hours instead of a Jalen Simpson or a Jonathan Baldwin, I'm going with that personally. Yeah. But I don't know how y'all feel about that. I would much rather see him replace one of those 2 DBs in that regard. So
I agree 100%. And if Omar Brown was in better physical condition, we might be having a different conversation about that extra safety, right? So I would agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. J. Cole in the chat says, "Funny you seen Friday before Ferris Bueller's Day." Hey man, I had a couple.
That's my job.
Had a couple buddies growing up back home, small town, but we they were brothers, and they were like, "Your white ass ain't never seen a movie like this. We need to sit down. We need to watch Friday." That's exactly what they said, and I was hooked. Such a good movie. One of my top 5 movies, man.
Classic.
Absolutely. Ferris Bueller's becoming popular too recently.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
That movie's older than you, Emilio. How have you seen it before Clayton? That's
a classic. That is
Yeah. Another one everybody tells me to watch is, oh God, what is it? Trying to think. What's the name of it? It's a comedy about knights.
A Knight's Tale?
No, not A Knight's Tale there, buddy.
Night at the Roxbury?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're off track for sure. It'll come.
It's the one with Jack Black, isn't it?
No, it's not. There's a scene where a knight gets like all of his. It's merely a flesh wound. What's the name of that?
Oh, Monty Python.
Monty Python. Throw for this guy. Yeah, everybody's like, you gotta watch that. I still haven't seen it. So
my! You and Mandy, this Labor Day weekend, you two need to have a movie day and catch up on some of these.
Mandy's probably seen all these. She probably has. Like when she says I'm a stick in the mud, she is not kidding. Now, Carl Ward's on one right here. Harlem Night.
Yeah.
Another one, dude.
Classic.
Top 10, maybe top 5. Yeah.
You want to see a movie with like some of the greatest comedians of all time, all in one cast. Watch Harlem Nights for sure.
Better watch it quick. You with a heavyweight.
You just go shoot me in my pinky toe, huh?
Go ahead. The way he looks, everybody go, all right. Don't worry, Vera. We're going to find your toe. Have you seen it, Emilio?
No.
Harlem Nights.
Oh, my gosh.
It's been a while, but it's good.
It's so good, man. Yeah, so good. My brother came in on military leave from Iraq, or not Iraq, but Saudi Arabia in the early 90s. And he was like, you want to sit down and watch a funny movie with me? Yep, it was Harlem Nights. So I was like 9 years old. It was awesome. Unbelievable. So, all right. There you go.
You are a sick man. No Country for Old Men is pretty funny. Wait a minute.
Jeez.
Hold on.
Anything else on the practice squad, gents? Anything at all? Good?
Oh, I think we're good.
All right, let's move it along here to some practice updates. Let's lead off with what I think is the most important news of the day out of practice. As I was listening to the Homer Hour, and he had Jason Wilde on there toward the back end of the show, and Jason Wilde, to the best of my knowledge, is the first that reported this. If you guys know of anyone else who reported it before him, I'd love to give him credit. But Wilde said Jaden Reed's injury is a Jones fracture and will most likely be a factor this season. Reed returned to practice, Packers practice today. So looking into that, man, I've seen everywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to 3 to 6 months recovery.
Bottom line, me no likey that bird.
Yeah, and they said I heard someone else say that It's very, very difficult for it to kind of repair itself, to heal itself because of the lack of blood flow. It's a bone close to the pinky toe. So ironically, right, we just got to talking about Greer's pinky. But so the fact that he's out there, though, I think that says a lot about Jayden Reed, but that's something they're going to really, really have to monitor, I would imagine. I mean, Wildy sounded very, very like his tone came down and everything like this is probably going to be an issue this season. So,
it's not going to get better, right? The more that he runs on it, it's not going to improve.
Right.
It's already difficult spot on your foot to have an injury like that. It already takes long enough to heal, let alone running and cutting and playing football on it. So I've seen some of the fan base saying, well, why not just, send him to IR and get the surgery done now and let him, recover and, rehab. But if he wants to make it a go, we've seen players do this before, right? There is precedent for guys playing through a Jones fracture in recent memory. So if anyone can do it, I think it's Jay Reed for sure, but it's going to be tough.
Judy asked, how long has Reed been hurt? To the best of my knowledge, Drew, the first I heard about it, you guys remember there was a practice and they said he had a problem with his shoe. His shoe was bothering him. Y'all remember that his cleat was bothering him?
And then we had him in a boot a couple days later, right?
Right. Yeah. And I remember Jason Wilde said on his show, something seems off because Jayden Reed wouldn't answer questions. I don't want to be the one to say something, out of line here on the injury. And he was like, I don't like the sound of that. And there were some people like, oh, well, he's just overreacting. No, he wasn't overreacting. He picked up on that pretty quick. So, that absolutely sucks. So anything else you guys, I want to say this though, Dontavion Wicks, you see him back here, right behind Jayden Reed as well. So he obviously returned to practice today. That's a great sign to get him back for sure. Yeah. So we're starting to get a little bit healthier, I feel like. But
I like what Holmes says there. Those fractures are at high risk for malunion. That's true. If you don't have the surgery,
what is that?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what does that mean?
Not united, not connected.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming that's what that means.
From the lack of blood flow we talked about too, because
absolutely.
Yep. So I don't know. Prayers up for Bird, right?
Yeah. Some other players that had Jones fracture. Derrick Henry had one. Des Bryant, Debo had it in 2020. Christian Wilkins just had one in 24. Kool-Aid McKinstry, that was what he had.
That's who I was thinking of.
Okay. There we go.
Played through the Jones fracture, and everyone was talking about his 40 time. And then we found out that the dude ran his 40 with a Jones fracture and didn't say anything. So
Doc in the chat says poor healing due to blood flow or lack thereof.
But they had enough confidence to not put him on, IR or, anything like that. Like they didn't put him on a 4-week IR. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Drew D says Larry McCarron had a pinky with malunion. There you go. So I think we have.
How about these hands?
Yeah, that'll do it.
I got you.
I think the Jones fracture. That's the James fracture or something right there.
That's the rock fracture right there.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so the rest of the injury report, if you will, from practice, and it sounds like they're probably going to have the weekend off, I think. I don't know if they took the team picture today, but that should be here in the next 24 to 48 hours, and then they'll probably have the weekend off and then come right back to work on Monday, and it's go time, right? So Rob Demovsky, Jayden Reed with the foot, Dontavion Wicks with the calf, Aaron Banks with the back injury, Elton Jenkins with the back, and Xavier McKinney all practicing today. So the one that you notice that's not on that list, Nate Hobbs with the knee, Zane Anderson knee, Savion Williams with the hammy, and Barron Sorrell with the knee. So Nate Hobbs, we knew it was going to be kind of sliding in at the last second at the finish line for week one for him to be healthy. Emilio, are you concerned about Nate Hobbs at this point? Because to me, this feels like this is kind of right on schedule. I didn't expect him to just jump right back into practice immediately.
Right. No, I'm not too worried. We still have that he's still a week and a half away-ish. Get another weekend to heal. And even if he's not completely ready for week one, you might only get him 15, 20 snaps anyway if he's coming in a little bit hurt. So I'm not too worried about it.
BTA.
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. So anything else you guys want to hit on in terms of the injury report here? Because I know, Tim, Dontavion Wicks with the calf, he obviously returned. Aaron Banks, that's the big one for me. I think that's huge that he's back in the fold. And obviously Xavier McKinney, we've been seeing this coming for well over a week now, right?
I agree. I think X and Aaron Banks were the two that I was really looking forward to seeing back out there, right? I mean, Aaron Banks has been dealing with that back for the better part of the last month, right? So to see him back out there, that makes you feel good about your O-line. And then obviously X going to give it to you, right? The captain of the back end of that defense, really good to see him practicing and not just, running red line and rehab stuff. So, and I think you're right. The, Hobbs, Zane, Savion Williams, and Mr. Sorrell, we all knew what was going on with that. It's just going to take time. Nate Hobbs is the one to watch, right? Because he was the one that he had that issue, and they went ahead and did the cleanup right away. And so we're just waiting for him to, get cleared to play, right?
Yeah.
And what all this spells here, really, Ron Sample says Jenkins and Banks back is huge.
Yep.
Think about this: you get Elton Jenkins and Aaron Banks back, right? You're still missing Savion Williams. To me, this kind of all right. Your offensive line is pretty much completely healthy now, right? We're about to run the hell out of the rock early in the season, boys. It's coming. There's going to be a lot of duo action, I believe, and most likely out of 12 personnel.
With 4 tight end. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's going to be the Josh Jacobs show, and I can't wait for it, man. Anything else on these injuries right here specifically? Anything at all y'all want to hit on?
No, I think it is interesting, though, that as much as I was scratching my head about the Nate Hobbs signing, I'm really excited to get him back because I just feel like what we've seen from him. I saw maybe a couple people saying they haven't been wild on him in the chat, but to me, I feel the opposite. I felt like the intensity and just the physicalness that he's bringing to this secondary is something that I've been longing for a very long time. And if we got a couple of dogs back there, like you see the types of attitudes that guys like Hobbs, Keyshawn, Carrington, and now with the kind of veteran leadership, I mean, I even throw Evan Williams in there. He seems very, very scrappy. And then you got a guy that's kind of leading the charge, and obviously X. That is a group that could be pretty fierceful, man.
Yeah,
I agree. I think Nate Hobbs fits in real well in that cornerback room. Definitely.
Yeah. Donovan Schilling in the chat bringing out the strap. He says 180 in here watching live on YouTube and only 34 likes. Come on. You're a Bears fan if you don't hit like. So appreciate that, Donovan. You guys would just take a quick second. We hate to ask, but it helps more than you know. Hit that like button for us. If you're new here, subscribe, click the bell icon. That way you're notified as we go live daily. As we're closing in on week 1, man. It's gonna
Get ready to go.
It's going to be a blast this year. So this is good news, I feel like. Jordan Love, a full participant for the first time since the thumb surgery. Will play
look at that. He's taking snaps. Let's go.
Still got the bandage
using
on.
both hands.
Taking snaps. That's right.
Perfect. Keep the bandage on for however long you want. I really don't care.
I think it looks badass to me. Yeah. Like, chicks dig scars, right? Go out there like you all bandaged up. Yeah.
That's Joe Flacco 101 right there.
That's right. Look at that. Seriously.
The car fake there. I like it. Let's go.
I look like my Uncle Ray right there in the front balancing his checkbook, too. I don't know who that guy was walking through. You might know who that is, Tim, right here. Who is this old gentleman right there? Who is that?
Oh, that's our equipment guy. It's hard to see. It was kind of a quick flash.
Old man equipment guy. Let's see if we can get it like this.
Yeah, he's an OG. Yeah. I believe that's one of our equipment managers.
The two-tone? Yeah, it's a good look.
That's right, it is, man. Got that shirt tucked in. He's out there for business. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Jacob said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, when you got the good slacks on, you got to tuck the shirt in, man. You got to.
See.
Yeah. This looks like, who's the guy on King of the Hill? The bald
Dale?
Fan. Dale. Is it Dale? Is that who we're thinking? Yeah, I think it is
or
Dale.
Bill, or Bill Dozer. Bill.
Yep. There you go. I love that Jacob knows every character on King of the Hill. It's absolutely hilarious. So anyway, how are we feeling about Jordan, boys? You think we're good to go here? Any concerns at all? Or do you think I still think they need to be a little bit careful. Don't get too crazy, as obviously you want that to heal up just from the incision, right? I mean, that's something that you want to kind of protect a little bit.
I would agree. You don't want an infection or something, right? Or it's a open back up or anything crazy. So I would agree.
Yeah, I agree with what Tim said. Just be cautious. But to me, it's more the way that his legs are moving and looking like that. To me, looks like he's ready to go. Not to quote the Bears coach, but
get ready to go.
Shout out to Matt Schneidman for all those videos that he took.
I'm just happy he was taking snaps under center and everything. Like, that's huge.
Yes.
Here's a look at Dontavion Wicks from Matt Schneidman. So Wicks could be listen, man, people forget how damn good he was his rookie year. You know, he struggled last year. Make no two bones about it. But man, if he can come out and be somewhere in between last year where he had a 65 PFF grade, and the year before I think he was a 77, I believe. And his yak his rookie year was unbelievable. So if you can get him involved early, maybe that will allow you to press into 11 a little more than what we're anticipating, because as we pointed out, man, all of our Chalk Talk episodes last year, when we broke down the plays of the year and did a special Chalk Talk show on that, every single play on offense was out of 11 personnel. That's not a coincidence, man.
Yeah.
That's how you can really, really attack defenses for sure. So.
What a great time for Tay Wicks to, get back on track, right? Considering what we just talked about with Jaden Reed. Like if there's, a chance that Bird's going to miss any time, having Tay Wicks step up and get the hot hands again would be great timing in this offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Completely agree. All right, so there's a little injury update. Let me make sure. Here's let's see if Rob had anything to say here. Go ahead and read that super chat, Jake.
Yeah, Josh Martin in the super chat. Appreciate that, buddy. He says, realistically, what would you consider a great season for Love statistically, team-wise for LaFleur and Goot?
That's a great question.
5 million yards, 5 million touchdowns,
I've got
0 interceptions.
You guys know how I do this every year team-wise. I give you a low number and a high number. I think I'm expecting 10 to 13 wins for the Packers. The closer you get to 13, obviously it was an absolutely great season. In terms of Jordan Love, what I want to see is I want to see him flirting with the 30 touchdown mark or surpassing it while keeping it under 10 interceptions. If we protect the football in the passing game and continue to press into the run like we did last year, play action should be more effective from underneath center now that the knee's healthy. Matthew Golden, if he continues to build off what we've seen in camp, I don't think there's any reason why Jordan Love couldn't be closer to 40 touchdowns while keeping it under 10 interceptions. You just got to clean up the picks. You got to do that. And again, last year he battled 3 different injuries. I got you. I understand all that. But that's how you get closer to 13 wins as opposed to that 10. But what do you guys think? How would y'all answer that? That's a great question, Josh. Thank you, buddy.
I'd say 3,700 yards passing, under 10 to 12 interceptions, somewhere around 30 tuds, and not afraid to pull the ball down and run. So maybe like 200 or 300 yards rushing.
I like it.
I would agree with that.
What about
I think as long as he's under as long as the picks are in the single digits, I'm happy.
Yeah, that would be great.
What did you ask, Emilio? Sorry.
What about the team? Where do you think we're heading?
Well, I think I'd still say between 10 to 13 wins would something that I think would be feasible. I would hope for more, but realistically, I think 10 to 13 wins.
14-3, book it. Let's go.
Every year. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'd probably say 11 12 wins for the team. I think we need to get win the North would be, basically ideal, but we need to get 2 or 3 rounds into the playoffs for sure. I think that, if we get, if we don't win the North and make the playoffs, all right, fine, but we got to win that game for sure. If we make win the North, make the playoffs, win that game, ideally win the second game. NFC Championship would be pretty much a good season, for us. That means we're progressing. That means we're getting better. I would want to see us being able to try to reach that.
Love it.
And for Jordan, 40, under 12, and over 4,000, hopefully like 4,500.
All right.
Yeah, the closer you get to 40, you can tolerate that
pick.
10 plus, right?
Yeah.
Get a little over 10. I agree with that completely.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, for sure. So one last little note here, kind of goes hand in hand with what we talked about. Rob Demoski tweeted out, Jordan Love still has his surgically repaired left thumb protected with a brace/tape. But he took snaps from under center and out of the gun for the first time since surgery. So there's a step in the right direction. Still handed off with his right hand only. Didn't do the drill where they're punching at the ball. So everything we said, take it a little easy there. Obviously, they're still taking all precautionary measures there. So
I think that first shot that he takes to that hand in a game, we're gonna get a good idea of how serious it might still be, right?
Yeah. Do you guys mind if I do a couple chats just to clean up some segments we had earlier? So Bates, always our resident Jamie, says, I believe that was Brian Naring, the equipment team manager, which I think Tim alluded to.
Not Larry David.
I saw that
in the chat. How dare you?
Bates is the one that can do. Listen, I won't give too much details, but Bates probably did a full background check just now. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Real quick, Holmes MD is saying that sutures heal usually in 10 to 14 days. He says the incision should be or is closed by now. So that's good information here.
That's
and just a
news.
random fun fact, Jim H is saying it looks like Myers may win the New York Jets starting center job. So
My Papa Bailey could win that job. He's been dead since '86. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. But I do wish Myers all the best. Seriously, that's got to be tough to go to the Jets on a 1-year deal. You know what I mean? And it's almost no guaranteed money. He's got to be like, boy, might be calling Kentucky games soon. You know, so but. Yeah. Wish him nothing but the best for sure. Anything else, Jacob? Is that all of them? Good.
That's pretty much it. Yep. Other than wishing Donovan a happy birthday, he says he shares it with Matt Ramage. So congrats.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Donovan and Matt Ramage for sure.
There you go. All right, let's shift gears. The topic of the day. Tim, you want to take a break? We're gonna get into a little Micah Parsons talk.
Hey guys, I'm going home.
All right, now so obviously. Well, here we go. Let's hit the super chat real quick. Go ahead, Jacob. Read it.
Yeah, Randy Steen says, off topic, but with his ability to come back to the ball and his high IQ, I'm looking forward to seeing how Golden does during scramble drills. How about y'all? That's a great point.
Mm-hmm. That's what Jacob lives on when he plays Madden. Dude does not know how to hit a route in timing.
Just let them finish the route, run around the back as long as they can, and then they'll finally break off. Nothing more frustrating, though, than you scrambling right, somebody sitting over in a curl, and they just don't move. You're like, fuck.
Put the team on my back.
Perfect.
Out here. No, I think that's it. I agree. I think that's a good point, Randy. To me, Golden, some guys just kind of get it. It seems like he gets it. The game kind of comes natural to him. He doesn't look like some guys, they overthink it. You could see it. I felt like Dobby did that a little bit early. I want to say maybe that's kind of what Wicks does. Wicks is probably overthinking it a little bit too much. You watch him run a route and you're like, he's brilliant, right? And then when the ball gets thrown to him, it's almost like, I don't want to say panics, but he's just thinking too much.